when you work with a vacuum instrument or source at high vacuum or at very low vacuum, I would say, one important aspect is that the sample has to be stable for an extended period of time for you to realize your imaging mass spectrometry experiment. And we're not talking minutes, we're talking hours, right? Especially when you want to start to measure things at higher spatial resolution. It takes a lot more pixels to go through, right? And it takes time, it takes hours. Even with instruments getting better and better with higher repetition rate lasers and so on, it's just still takes time. So the sample has to be extremely stable for that amount of time. Now, in MALDI, we take a tissue section and we cover it with a compound called the matrix. The role of the matrix is to help with the desorption and ionization of the molecules which are within the tissues. And these matrices have to be able to sustain a very high vacuum environment for extended periods of time. And that's not the case for all of the sound panels. After a certain time, these molecules tend to what's called back sublimate. It's just go into vacuum phase, right? They tend to evaporate from the sample and disappear. And if they're not on your section anymore, well, you can't do your imaging experiment. The fact that we're going at atmospheric pressure allows the samples to be a lot more stable for an extended period of time. We've done 15-hour imaging runs in serial samples, different, but consecutive imaging almost for 15 hours with remarkable stability of the samples. The fact that you are at atmospheric pressure tends to, because of multiple low energy collision, it tends to dissipate this energy and stabilize your ions. So we've observed that as well for some of the molecules that we've looked at, that we get higher yield for these molecules and less fragmentation because the source is at atmospheric pressure. Now, that's the benefits. One drastic difference that we saw going from a vacuum-based ion source versus an atmospheric ion source is that sample preparation becomes a lot more tedious. And if you're not exactly where you need to be in terms of sample preparation, the performance fall off really rapidly. Whereas if you're in a high vacuum environment, the performance is, the deviation from ideal sample preparation are a lot more tolerant. Again, I can prepare samples during the day and run them all night long. So that's what most of my students do. They spend the morning preparing the samples. They will set up all the imaging run. So usually we have two slides that we mount our sections on microscope slides, which are microscope format, so 75 by 25 millimeters. And we can put two of these slides in the system. And on each slide, I can mount multiple sections. I could literally fill up the slide. I can put the matrix on, delineate all my areas I want imaging to be done on, set up all my methods, and load that all, and click the start button and come back the next morning, and it's done. The system can literally work at night by itself, right? So that's beautiful.